don't be precious is basically one of the main things.
Don't get too comfortable, because the music just starts to suck as soon as you are.
The other question we always ask everybody is a piece of advice, whether you've received advice or whether through the experience of being in everything, you've come out the other side thinking, you know what, I would really pass this on to anybody who's embarking on this journey.
I think experimentation is a word that people use and they don't actually do it. And we don't do masses of it, but I think every time something really magical happens, it's because we're in an area we're not actually comfortable in. And when our most boring songs that you never hear happen, it's because we've done it a million times. And so every time we've experimented on this record, something good's happened, be it the teletype thing at the start or what happened at the very end. It's a really important part of creativity, is to push yourself into somewhere you don't know what you're doing. You know, open a drum kit you've never used before if you're programming drums, or use a chord you never played before, or a mode you don't like. All these things.
Don't be don't be precious is basically one of the main things.
Don't get too comfortable, because the music just starts to suck as soon as you are, really, I think. Yeah, we
tended to like work tracks early in our career. We worked tracks for absolutely ages, to the point where, you know, everyone sort of hated the song, and eventually we'd have to let it go because it wasn't right. And I think now we're kind of more at a stage where if you write something and you think the next day or whatever it's not quite right or good enough, we tend to just kill things much quicker, and we're not precious about anything. Or John will send me a track like that and be like, do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll do whatever I want with it. And vice versa, you know, that can just happen. And I think that's just comes from being around and doing it for a long time and just trusting who you're working with or whatever.
Was this a particularly creative time, do you think, around Raw Data Field? Because you ended up with a 14-track album. You know, it's pretty big.
Yeah, we weren't intending to put that many out, and then it got to the point where we were like, well, actually, we like all of them, so let's just put them all out. And it kind of summed up a period of time where we made 14 tracks in like however many months it was, you know, 3 or 4 months or whatever. It just felt like a nice thing to put out to the world.
I think there's a few things that going for it, which is, firstly, it was a surprise that we had to make it at all. So we didn't have the usual time to prepare, and I think that was good. We had to make it in record time, so that sort of breathes creativity for some people, and I think it does for us. So we were just going, this is good, let's do it, rather than, is it good? Shall we rewrite it? You know, it was a lot of just bang, 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 bang. Alex was in control of how it sounded, so that was another reason why it could be as idiosyncratic as we wanted it to be. There was no fifth person to go through to change everything around. And also, it was written after, to be honest, a hell of a lot of turbulence in basically all of our lives. And I mean, everyone experienced the pandemic, but there were sort of things within pandemics that we've gone into a bit tonight that sort of ratcheted up the stress or the change in our lives. And that happened actually to 3 out of 4 of us, perhaps all of us actually, in quite a major way. And whether you realize it or not, that does get into the music, and it tends to result in the best stuff, actually.